G'day everyone and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be doing a transmission fluid change on my 2019 Ford Ranger. Now I'm going to be doing it a slightly different way than what you would see on normal videos, as this is the quick and easy way of doing it. This procedure should only probably take you maximum of about 10 minutes if you're doing it on your own vehicle. You can pretty much do it in your own driveway. You don't need any sort of specialized equipment or anything like that to do it. All you will need is two pumps. So one is an extraction pump. The other one is a fluid pump. These will make your life a lot more easier if you have these two pumps. The one on the right was about $75. I think this one here was somewhere around $120. I also have 5 liters of genuine Mercon LV transmission fluid. Now, the reason why I'm using genuine fluid is because my Ford Ranger is still under warranty. And if I were to take this to Ford for a warranty claim on the transmission and they sample the transmission fluid, they would see that it's non-genuine fluid and therefore void the warranty. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Also, I'm not going to be dropping the pan in this video. Dropping the pan is a very sort of messy procedure because there's no actual sump plug in the transmission sump. You have to remove the pan with the fluid still in it, which can get quite messy and spill transmission fluid everywhere and take quite a long time to do and do it properly. So I'm just going to be showing you the quick and easy way to do it. I know that it's not the right way of doing it, but it's better than not changing it at all. I would rather change 4.5 liters of transmission fluid than not change any at all. So we'll be dropping this fluid in this car, checking out the quality of it after 150,000 kilometers, putting in 4.5 liters of new fluid, and then taking it for a test drive. First job is to just loosen off the bolts that hold this bash plate on, which is a series of 15mm bolts. So these back two that you have along the back, those one and one there, you only have to loosen off, you don't have to pull them completely out, and the bash plate will slide out that way once you loosen the front ones. So right next to your DPF you will find the filler plug, which is that one up there. That's a 19mm, so all you got to do is crack that off. See, I've got my 19mm on the filler plug, and essentially all you got to do is crack that loose. It may be a little bit tight to start off with, but you just got to use a bit of force to get it off. Okay, bit of a change of plan. So I did have the spanner on there, and this bolt is actually quite tight. So what I've done now, I've just put a 19mm socket on there with a little breaker bar extension on it, and I'm going to crack it off and see if that does the trick. So once you pull that bolt out of the transmission, it'll have two sections to it. It'll have the bolt part which covers it all, and then inside of it we'll have the dipstick. So now what we're going to do, we're going to wipe all this clean and insert this dipstick back into the transmission just to see what level we're on. Now this transmission has never been opened before. It was sealed from factory, so we know that the fluid level is going to be correct from factory. So we're going to be looking at where it comes up on this scale here and taking note of that. And when we refill it, we're going to be putting the fluid back to that exact same spot. So I just went and dipped this little dipstick back into the transmission, and this is the level that it's giving me, just to the top of that B line where it has on that dipstick. So in essence, that is the level that I'm going to be putting back into the transmission. And what I've done here is I've got my suction pump, and I've fed it through that little hole in the guard that you can see there next to the chassis rail. And then we've gone up in through there and into the transmission. Hopefully you can see that. And now all we'll do is start pumping away. Here I am with the suction pump. So essentially it's pulled out all that it can. I'm not too sure what these gauges are, maybe they're liters, but I'm gonna pour it into the other container and just see how many liters we've actually pulled out of the transmission with the suction pump. Okay, so here we have the fluid that I just pulled out. As you can see, we've just pulled out about 4 liters, which is what I was expecting. By the way, this is the condition of the transmission fluid at 150,000 kilometers, factory fill. As you can see, it is quite black. Well, pretty dark anyway. Got my pump set up. It is going up straight up to the transmission filler, and it's just filling away there. onto the final step, which is checking the level. So remember, when I checked previously on the factory fill, we're on the top of that B line. So I took around 4 litres out, I put 4 litres back in approximately, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this dipstick in, just double check that level, and if I got to topple up a little bit, I'll top it up. So we'll do that now. Just finished checking that level, and we are pretty much where I want to be. So we're just at the top of that B level, which is pretty much what we were originally when we checked the level, and I'm happy with that. And all I'm going to do now, put this dipstick back in, put the filler plug back in, and go for a test drive. So here is a comparison of the old fluid versus the new fluid. Pretty much black. I'm surprised it was that dark after 150,000 kilometers. I guess this is why the 6R80s have such a reputation of failing, because I mean, if you don't service it, it's pretty much guaranteed to fail. This is a good example of why you should not go with the lifetime fill as instructed by Ford, but change your transmission fluid every 50,000 kilometers. One thing I forgot to mention, this is what I used to undo the filler bolt. So all it is a 19 on an extension with a ratchet. It was on there quite tight, but with this, I managed to get it off, and there was enough room to do it all in there with the DPF in place and everything like that. Now, the only thing left for me to do is take this Ranger on a test drive, just to make sure everything's working as it should. Remember, we only put in the same amount what we took out, and we verified that on the dipstick, so there's no reason why anything should be working any differently than what it was previously. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.